Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mariner of Spirit. I'm Greg, I'm your host, and tonight we have a very, very special guest, a person that I'm very fond of watching and learning about, and she's been an amazing lady and has always treated me with the utmost respect. And I just am mind boggled that she's such a great lady and so hard to believe, with the way a lot of people are in business today. She is one that's really outstanding, and that's Patty Negri. But I'm not going to bring her out right now. I'm just sort of teasing you a little bit because I want to go ahead and go through some of the things that I normally talk about at this time. And one of them happens to be the people that I support. And I support Plotographs, which is a small charity that's done by a guy by the name of Tim Miley. And it's for animal shelters and to go ahead and help support the animal shelter business. And he does that through going ahead and putting on small paracons or small events. And he's actually done his own now, and he's been doing his own for some time, where he'll go ahead and he'll have a lot of his friends come and speak at the events, and they're really great. So if you get the opportunity to do a Miley event or Plotographs, be sure to go ahead and do it because it's well worth the time and effort. Secondly is PKC, Paranormal Kicks Cancer, and that's Chris Goskowski and Alex Wilkinson, and they're a couple from Florida who do the same kind of thing. They do a lot for charity, and they do events like haunted houses, and they'll do their own little events that they'll set up. And I met them about 5 years ago now, I think it was, at doing a live show down at Osel Pittsburgh Hospital in Tennessee. So they're great people, and if you get the opportunity and if you go into one of their events, give them a shout out because they're really, really great people. And the third one is the Jessica Petrie Foundation, and that's a resource for expectant mothers, families of pregnant women with mental illness. And it's Howard Petrie from Pond Paranormal United Network. That was his daughter who passed. And Howard is a great guy, and it's he's doing a good job at what he's trying to accomplish with this. And then from that point, I'm going to go to my authors, the people that if you get the opportunity and you want to go ahead and get a book or something like that, if you go through these authors, these are a lot of the authors that are in the paranormal community, and they've done some great work. And at the top of the list is a friend of mine, Mr. Bruce Holliday, Tobias Wayland, Adam Benedict, Kathy Kressel, Sherilyn Carter, Dr. Heatherly Langdon, Ron Iacovetti, Tony Rathman, Natalie Jones, Patty Negri, Sylvia Schultz, Amelia Cotter, Rex Nielsen, and David Sloan. So those are the authors right now, and I know that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring my guest in here because she's got me dumbfounded right now because I'm so excited about having her on. So, and here she is, Patty Negri.
Hey, hi everybody. Hi Greg. Dumbfounded. I love that.
Well, that happens occasionally, but it's been a while, and
It has, yes.
and I really, this is the kind of thing that when it happens, I like to absorb it because it's you're that kind of person that I have to remember because when you get in the hard times on podcasts, you have to remember the people that were good, the really great people that you had on, and you happen to be one of them again. And that
Oh, thank you.
no more, no more flattering after this. We're gonna have to
Okay, that
eliminate.
was thank you, my friend.
But
Thank you.
but it's really neat to go ahead and what did I do here? I just went ahead and did I? You're still on, right?
Yeah?
Okay,
Did you
there you
lose me?
go. No, I'm been my my mouse keeps on screwing up, and then it will go ahead and kill my screen. But for those people that haven't heard you before, I know there's a lot of people that have seen you on TV, and there's other people that have seen you as far as events are concerned, one place or the other. And I know that you've been really busy again this year, and I know that you've done a lot. You've done a lot for charity, and I know you're in partnership with Natalie
Yes, Paraflex.
as far as Paraflix is concerned, and you've got a great platform for paranormal content. And the some of the people that you have on there are friends of mine, and I think it's great that they're on there. And you seem to go ahead and you guys get that thing together, and it just keeps on rolling, and that's great.
Yeah, we keep doing it. We keep doing it. Slow and steady. We're gonna get there. Yes. Thank you. It's a passion
So,
project all the way.
oh, that's great. As long as we're talking about movies and we're talking about events type stuff, there's a particular show that's on here that's called the Witches Movie
Coven.
Coven.
Yes.
Could you
Yes. Are
explain?
you? I can. It is a group of us, all witches, all identify as witches of many different sorts, all fun and positive. We we're called the Witches Movie Coven. We are kind of spearheaded by Heather Green, who's a dear friend, actually, and an editor at Llewellyn. She's actually the editor of my upcoming book on haunted dolls, and she wrote what's equivalent to the Bible of witches in movies. Every movie from the 1800s when movies were first made up until a couple years ago when the book came out. And it's her and it's Jason Mankey, who's very well known in the witchcraft world, Richard Lael Lillard, close friend, and Courtney Buckley and myself. And we watch everything from The Wizard of Oz and The Craft to funny bad B films and horror films and classics from every era. And then we discuss them. And um, we never agree. It's really fun. The movie may be good and the witchcraft may be bad, or the witchcraft may be good and the movie may be bad, or vice versa, or both. And that does not necessarily determine. We could like a bad movie with bad witchcraft. But it's live like this, just like your show. So people get to comment, and we put their comments up, and we vote on the movie. We all have a black Phillip, a black goat, so we can watch movies deliciously. And then we and everybody in the chat room, we vote on the movie, wands up or wands down if we like it. And again, we never agree. And it's just an hour of just silly fun of like-minded people where we do get some fun, good, real thought-provoking information in there as well. Thanks for bringing it up.
Here's something here. I want to go ahead and bring this up.
You got a dragon! Yoo-hoo! Everybody needs a dragon.
And I
Everybody.
think I think she's in the hospital right now. So,
Oh,
but
sending
but
love. You get your dragon and to get you healthy and fast, dragon.
so you've been who's been making those?
I don't have a person who makes them. I'm just now launching a really pretty dragon pendant. I don't even think I have them up yet. It's beautiful. It's a dragon with a sword, and the sword. Wait, that's backwards. and the sword comes out. You could take the sword out, a beautiful dragon, real
Wow.
inexpensive. It's going to be on my website and on Mystery Control. I don't think I've launched them yet, but I just tell anybody to get any dragon. Again, this is like those 3D dragons. This is a little plastic dragon. I can't tell you, and I can't tell you how many A-list movie stars, politicians, sports teams have this little plastic dragon sitting by their bed or on their altar. You just have to, it just can't be like just a tattoo or a picture because you have to feed it. You have to, you have to give it its little water or its whiskey or whatever. You're creating a fetish, a servitor, an egregore to be your best working buddy. And they are the secret weapon to life. And I'm so glad you got one, Becky. That is awesome.
And
Oh, she's
now, and
at
now, where she just got it out, just got out today, so she got out of the hospital today. That's
Yay.
good. I'm glad. I'm glad, Beck. And then there's another one here. This is from Rebecca, and
Oh,
she
thank you.
says,
Oh, she wants to know my favorite Ghost Adventures episode. Okay, that's a tough one. I've been doing like two a year for the last 9 years. I think I've got 18 under the belt, two that haven't even aired yet. If they ever get around to starting the new season, I have two new ones. Both I'm excited about for way different reasons. But I think the standout ones are the Cecil Hotel, because that's like
right.
the craziest place I've ever been. The Black Dahlia house, because being possessed by a serial killer is a trip. Um, and I think there's another one we did also back in Los Angeles in a place in Chatsworth, and it was this weirdest thing ever of this murder that had happened there. So if I had to pick one, I'm going to say Cecil. But if I have to, but it's a really close second with the Black Dahlia.
I know there's a lot of, you know, that once you understand what happened with the Black Dahlia, it's hard to go ahead and put it out of your mind. And I
Yeah,
can remember the movie that was done quite a while ago now, and I thought that, it was just one of those horrible things that happened to an individual that
yeah.
shouldn't have happened.
And it
You know,
happened to many more women.
yes,
Yeah, because um, this guy, not that he got convicted for anything, the other women just were like maybe kind of drifter women or that they just weren't as important to get the publicity. But um, Dr. Hodell's son, who was an LAPD officer, he's got so much evidence on so many women killed by this guy. And I've met a couple in spirit. So, oops, sorry.
that's really when you met them, and I'm sure that you had asked them questions. What was the what was the most honest thing you heard them say?
Of the Black Dahlia, um, I the hardest one to get hold of, unfortunately, is Elizabeth Short. For some reason, I think that Dr. Hodell has the biggest hold on her. I think what the best thing that happened that nobody really knows about is Fauna Hodell, who is Tamar's daughter, the daughter of, and probably granddaughter and daughter, because there was incest in the thing. She became a dear friend. She saw me on a different TV show, a Black Dahlia TV show, well before Black Dahlia, contacted me, and we became dear friends. So she is the granddaughter, maybe daughter of this Dr. Hodell. And her mother, Tamar, is the one who had the baby and the whole thing. Um, Met one of the spirits there and promised she would help her, promised she would help her do something, but she couldn't. She was on her deathbed in Hawaii and couldn't wait to die. All of a sudden, Ghost Adventures came up. Um, Fauna got called to be on it. I got called to be on it. And we literally, they didn't show this part on camera, but Zach, Aaron, everybody. We crossed her over. This one girl, not sadly Elizabeth Short, but this one girl that her mother promised to cross over, and we did. We saw the light. We did the whole thing. We felt it. It came crossed over, and then soon afterwards, Tamara passed away as she was ready to do. She just was holding on, and then sadly, Fauna got cancer and didn't even make it to the screening of her film that she wrote about the whole thing.
Well,
Yeah.
but
But I
but
think that
that's
was it, that this girl, this woman was waiting on our living world to go there, and we got to help this one.
now you also have a new book,
I do.
and
Yeah, I'm so
so
excited. You can pre-order it
go ahead.
now. Yeah, it's not going to be out till next year, but you can order it now on Amazon. It's coming out from Llewellyn. You know, the whole world's into haunted dolls right now, and most people don't know what they're doing. So it's called the Dollcraft, a witch's guide to haunted dolls and magical puppets. You don't have to be a witch though, but it's about almost the care and feeding of haunted dolls, how to get one, because there's so many scams on like eBay and stuff, or how to even create one yourself, how to invite in a spirit. And then the other half of the book is magical puppets, which are little magical dolls. People mistake them for voodoo dolls, but they're not. They're magical puppets. Like, if have a little puppet of yourself, if you have a headache, stick a needle in it and your headache goes away. Little magical dolls. So it's a really fun, light book, but so much information, and it comes out. I've worked so hard on this. I'm so excited.
That is going to be awesome when it comes out.
Yeah.
You'll have you'll be right up there in the top of the list there for
I hope so.
new
I'm getting
releases.
I'm getting some nice endorsements and things. That's what I'm working on right now, so I'm really good.
That is awesome to have something like that happen. I know we have a place out by us that when back in the day when I was younger and I was doing crazy stuff, I used to go in there all the time and drink. And it was called the Puppet Bar. And it was squared off. It had this wall and then this wall, and the whole entire wall, both walls had puppets on them.
Wow.
And you would go ahead and you would put like a quarter into the slot and push the slot, and all of the puppets would come to life.
Wow, that'd be spooky fun.
Yeah, that when I first saw that, I almost, I thought my eyeballs were gonna pop out of my head because it
Wow.
was like, holy cow! I couldn't believe it. That, and I can remember that, and it's gone. Uh, they tore it down, and the guy who had the last puppets uh, borrowed three of them to one of our historical societies, and we went over there and did an investigation. And they had these three puppets in this case, and the EFM meters just went absolutely ballistic there. They were right off the chart. And we started asking questions, and we had a whole investigation. And then when they took them out, it was gone, totally gone.
Yeah. Well, if you're a disembodied spirit of whatever form, you can get into a lighter or a vase, but why not get into something with eyes and a face and a nose and a mouth? So a puppet, a doll, a puppet, any of those things. You that would
Charlie
be
McCarthy,
yeah.
that would be a lot of fun. I know that you and Natalie and Paraflix have been doing great things again this year. Are there any particular shows that have come on this year that you would go ahead and say are going to be barn burners?
Ah, I I All of them. I'm a Libra. I'm hard at picking things. You just can't like. I could solve the problems of the world if I wanted to, but don't ask me like what to have for dinner or which movie to go to. I'm not good, so I'm just going to say all of them. But we've got some great ones. We've got some great new um, people and characters, and you just have to get Paraflix and watch them, and you
Right, right.
decide.
They do. Larry Eisler is he's been a favorite of, because they're right down the road from us. And when he was with Dan Norville, and then now Dan's out of it, and Larry's there by himself, and Larry's got his own. Larry's doing great things, and I always said that Larry had a great eye for his camera work and everything, and I'm sure that there's other people that you guys have on Paraflix that are very very high quality people when it
Yeah.
comes to film work is concerned.
Yeah,
But
on film work, we have besides yes, our regular um reality shows or investigation shows, we're getting more and more, which makes me happy because I'm movie Kevin. Um we just brought on this beautiful new, it's horror, it's sci-fi, it's got aliens, it's called Lumina. Everybody, it's worth Paraflix. Watch Lumina. I went to the screening of it, the Hollywood screening, the red carpet here in Los Angeles. It was this beautiful red carpet. And I sat there going, "Oh my God, this film is so good." I think it's going to be a cult hit because it's spooky and funny and big explosions. They shot it in Morocco. It was the biggest budget film ever shot in Morocco. And who's ever been to Morocco? And it's so different and it's so good. Lumina, we just brought that on at New Comic Con recent couple weeks ago, maybe a
okay,
month ago in New York. Um, they launched it there and announced that they were coming on to Paraflix, and so we made like the press. We made it was cool.
yeah, that's somebody was telling me about it, and when I heard that part, I thought I better write it down. And for some reason, that paper that has that title on it and that is gone.
Ah,
It's one of those little messes I have here. So it's
yeah.
like you throw everything up in the air. But I was curious because I know you are extremely extremely busy all year long. Do you have anybody that helps you out as far as
Yes, I do. I have a team. I really do. Besides the fact that I have a mostly very understanding husband who's a drummer, and holds the fort down while I'm gone. I literally had, I think, 34 or 35 trips this year, and a lot of them are just back and forth in the States, but it also included Romania and England and Wales and France and Australia a couple times. So I'm on the road a lot. I have an assistant who's fabulous, who does a lot of my posting of like, come to this class and do this. I have a video guy who makes those videos I post every day and the clips on things. My podcast. I have two podcast producers, co-conspiracy, Rob Cohen and Christine Roth. They are there. So, and my publicist, her Lisa Link PR. So I have five people making me.
that is amazing.
Yeah.
That's that. You know
Yeah. And I still don't have time to do laundry. Yeah.
exactly. Well, I was just going to go ahead and say that. I wasn't going to say laundry. I was going to say make the bed.
Yeah. That it's yeah. If like I'm sitting here now with all my dolls and things behind me, but the desk in front of me, I've got stacked up with, well, black goats and papers and dragons, and it's a little messy.
I became a member of the Texas Wraith Hunters, and
Nice.
it's with Anthony Salavos from down in San Antonio now. And he just he had like 5 or 6 dolls, and he got rid of them, and he's just got a bunch more now, and he's got another 5 or 6 or how many. And I said to him, I said, maybe you should get rid of those. You know, he's into that kind of thing pretty heavy compared to what I am. I'm not into dolls, but
Mhm.
it's how many dolls do you have?
Hundreds, but not all haunted by any means. But I've been a doll collector my whole life. Barbie dolls. If I turn my camera this way, I can't. It's too dark. I've got. I'm being stared at right now by at least 50 or 150 dolls. But the only haunted one, really, that's Belle, the one in the burgundy. That she's my most
Okay,
famous one, Belle. I was in Salem recently, and this girl dragged herself home with me. I didn't even think she was haunted, but a spirit has developed in her. Um, but that's all I really have for haunted. I got to keep my house a little bit sane. I have a spirit who lives here anyway, a French artist. Who she came with the house. She didn't die in the house, but she lived in the house for like 40 years, 50 years. Um, so I can't have too many haunted dolls, and I don't want any negative haunted dolls. I talk about that in my book. Everybody wants a haunted doll. Great, they're fun. They're nice family members. You hear them running around downstairs when you're upstairs. But I do not recommend negative haunted dolls because they drain your energy. They make you sick. They cause bad things. They're not fun. Positive haunted dolls are fun. That's why I I wouldn't bring home Peggy. Peggy, she curses at me when I go to Zach's museum. No, no. I had one real haunted, kind of like a statue doll, and it was too dark for me. It was fine for 2 years, and I'm going, why am I not going in my office? And I go, oh, it's you. So I called up Zach and I go, I got this thing. Do you want it? It's too dark for my house. I won't have dark in my house. And he said, show me a picture. I texted him a picture. He goes, oh, that's a voodoo nail fetish hate doll or something. He goes, yeah, I want it. So I gave it to him. That little thing started acting up that night. But that's the place to do it, where nobody lies their head down at night, nobody lives, and everybody goes there to see haunted things.
that's the real crazy part about all of it is the fact that to me, it's almost on that other edge of the paranormal.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I want to say Carol was saying about Staticom. Yes, Ron and Lourdes, the whole Staticom thing is one of my favorite things. The three-part
Yeah, they
series, Paraflex series.
I had that all written down here because I had him and Tony Rathman too
Yes,
involved,
and Tony. Yes.
and that's I've had both of them on, and it's extremely interesting. Have you heard the machine?
Yes, several times. And it's amazing. I've had some where I honestly don't. They all run together. So it was not too long ago. I was with them somewhere, Massachusetts, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know where, but yeah, always an experience. Always great.
That's the big part is you me asking you if you actually remember where you were like 3 weeks ago. It'd be like I don't think so. You know
It's hard. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, where
where am
am
I?
I? Yeah, because you're in some hotel somewhere. And like, what time zone is it? I'm still I'm still on Australia time, which is tomorrow already. It's 19 hours ahead. So my I have no body clock. It's good.
Did you get a chance to go to New Zealand or not?
No, no. This time we stayed in Sydney. Last time I um, went to Tasmania. I'm in love with Tasmania. I've fallen in love with wombats. I want a wombat. Big, cuddly, funny, furry little pig leg things.
How
Yeah.
is how is the energy over there for you?
It's beautiful. I love it. I really feel the energy where I go, since I'm an intuitive and I'm an energy worker, and a elemental witch. I like all these places I go, whether it's Transylvania but Australia has. I went there first time years and years ago. You feel it. You feel the land. You feel the connection to the land, and you can't even miss it, even if you don't think that you're in tuned or intuitive or anything. You just feel nature and the connection to the land. And then a great big white cockatoo lands on your arm. It's like, ah, and then a water dragon jumps in your pool. It's like, ah.
I had gone ahead. I can remember I was back home and we were living up here. We just moved up. So it was like I was home for about 5 years. And there was an advertisement for guys if they were in the trades to go to Australia. They would go ahead and give you 5 acres of land. They would build you a house, but you had to work in the trades for 5 years down there. That was their big boost, and you
Wow,
would be and you would be paid.
that's
So
awesome. It's a pretty
and
great
I was well, when you have a big family and you have you know both sides of the family were pretty big. It was like, how would you be able to go ahead and do that? You know,
right.
so I had to pull back, but I
Oh,
did run. I did run in. I worked at Bass Pro for quite a few years, and at the end, I ran into a couple, a man and a woman that were about my age that had their little grandsons with them, and I started talking, and they said that they were from Australia, and I started talking to them, and they told me the same story. That's when they went over there. So that was back in the almost not mid but early 70s.
wow.
So they had been over there for quite some time, and they said the same thing. They said that when they got there, they could just feel the whole place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, every place has its own feel. Every place in every state, every city, every everything. But that place is so. I don't know. I mean and they are different. They don't have animals like anywhere else in the world. They don't have. It's just different.
When I saw you last, it was in Janesville, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
and you had done a séance, or a group conscious, and you
Mhm.
had the room with everybody in it, and we were all sitting there, and I went ahead and got a book from Yacovetti, from Ron, and the title of it was The Digital Seance Initiative. Have you had the opportunity to read any of that?
I have not. I need to. I need to get it. I have not.
I was just curious because I know how they are once again with Staticom and with their projects that they do. And you're going to be doing another seance coming up, aren't you?
All the time, everywhere. I'm doing one this next week. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do one at the Old Park Hotel next weekend in Texas
California,
with in
Texas.
Texas with Natalie. We're doing Christmas thing at Old Park Hotel next weekend, and then the next weekend I'm doing something a first time Paracon in Jackson, California. I'm doing two seances. Um, I guess the biggest city you'd fly into, maybe Sacramento. It's somewhere in Northern California, but it's a very haunted, very beautiful Jackson, California. I'm doing two seances. I'm, and then the next one is maybe I don't know if I'm doing a seance at Hanover Tavern. I don't know. Probably not.
I
Again,
saw some amazing things when you were doing it with that
really?
group. Yeah, I mean, with the chair was moving, and the guy got moved out of the way on the chair, and he was a big boy too. So I don't know how that happened, but it
Magic,
was.
spirits.
Do you have any rules or regulations as far as the numbers of people for seances?
No, I will call it a seance. But it's interesting. There, I have these. To me, a seance is intimate, but intimate. I've done up to 60 people around. Not you don't have to all be a big table, but circular, and I'm on the same level with everybody. So in energetics, I'm an energetics person. I'm in a chair, you're in a chair, you're in a chair, we're all on the floor, whatever that is. I lift the veil. That's my style of doing it. It's a little bit spiritualist, and then my style I've done since I was 7. And If it gets much more than that, 60 people, I will call it a gallery, a mediumship gallery.
Right.
And then I'm probably, whether I'm on a stage or not, I'm probably standing so I could see everybody and they're more facing me like a gallery, like everybody else's gallery. I lift the veil slightly differently. You guys are probably going to experience kind of the same thing, except it's everybody, whether it's 60 people or 1,200 people looking at me. So the energetics are different. And the way I work the energetics are different, but your experience of talking to your loved ones is the same. Though in a gallery you maybe have to walk up to a mic, or I have a mic runner bringing, I want to talk to my grandma Bob, okay, we're going to talk. But say I've done probably at least 60 and still called it a seance, where we are on the same level. They'll move chairs, they'll feel it, you'll do everything.
Do you feel more comfortable doing a table of like 6 or 8?
I'm I No, I love it.
No.
They're all completely different animals. I love a table of 6 or 8. Let's do some table tipping, or my dining room table with up to 14, which is really crowded, perfect 13. But give me a big theater like that you could get at like Michigan Paracon, a billion seat theater, and that's pretty fun too. I'm always nervous.
You don't come
But
across that way.
yeah. But I no, I always am, because again, I'm not in control. It's all legitimate. I can always go, what if nobody comes? What if no spirits come? I don't force things. I invite, I never command, but it's never happened. So, it's always,
But
if I'm scared on whether I'm with Ghost Adventures or Portals to Hell, or all the YouTubers I work with, or all my Paraflix people I work with, like Rob. I'm always nervous because we don't have control there. Whether I,
well, everything you do starts from your heart.
yeah, starts from your heart. I'm When I'm going to a gig, because I'm the person who never knows where we're going. If like on Ghost Adventures, if I know where I'm going, he won't have me go in and do a thing. I'll just stand outside and go, this is what I experienced. He wants everything so in the moment, not a recall of it. But I'm always like, what if I, and he just, Patty, go in there, tell us what happened. I'm like, what if I don't know? But it's always
Oh,
such a vetted place. It's like, okay, 3 murders here, 2 over here, this over there.
I would put all my money on you, Patty.
Oh,
Okay. That's the way, but that's the way that's that's the feeling and the energy that I got from you the first time I met you.
oh, thank you.
And that's why I have gone about doing what I do now and work with Scotty Rourke and when he's he just had a quadruple bypass
Wow.
about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he's just an amazing person, and he's a great mentor. And you know, it was like when I meet people like you, it's like, boy, it would be really great if I could have a connection there too. But I understand that everybody has to go their own way, and they have to understand. And the only thing I would say is that I'm sure that if I had a question, I would be able to ask you.
Of course, you could always ask me, and because I do love to teach, that's why I started my school. The same time I started Paraflix, I started University Magicus, where I teach psychic development, mediumship development, spell casting, past lives, spirit guide, and I have 20 teachers now. And it's cheap. It's like $10 to $20 a class. We are sitting in an intimate little Zoom room. Um, and I just taught a manifesting class. Last week I taught a protection and warding class. I think I'm doing health and wellness next week. And we started the school because I don't like when you see the school cost $80,000 or $2,000 to go to school to learn this stuff. It's like, I wouldn't have had that money to go to learn this stuff I've studied my whole life. So we started this that everybody can afford it pretty much.
That's the part that I really wanted you to bring out
Oh,
because of the fact that you know you do so much of that end of it too, besides all the other stuff that you do. That you try to figure out how you could possibly have all that time.
I,
Now there was a gentleman in Janesville. He was a smallish kind of guy, maybe 5'4", and he would hang around the booth by
Matthew.
you. Yeah, and he's up in Massachusetts now, right?
Yes, he's in Salem now. Yes.
How is he doing?
He's doing great. He's doing great. He had another book come out. He was started out one of my students at the school that started helping out at the school. Then he moved from the not as accepting Midwest to Salem, where he is flourishing. He's great.
Okay, I was curious about that, and I wanted to ask you because I knew that you would remember who I was talking about.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys. For everything that we were doing there, he came across to me as being one of those people that was really hungry to learn.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he's actually going ahead. And if you ever run into him or you talk to him, mention that I said hi,
I
please.
certainly will. I talk to him often. I will.
That's every once in a while I would see him in a chat or something, and I'd say hi to him. And I thought, I don't think he knows who I am, but that's no biggie. You know, we're all on different levels as far as how we go ahead and remember things and look at things. But that's really amazing. So then, since we're in 25 now, coming up,
Yeah, almost.
is your calendar filled already?
Not filled, but we're adding as we go. But it's certainly not filled. I don't know how many things I have booked. It's not in the 30s like this year. I've got maybe 5 or 6 things on the book so far. They haven't. They're just going to start coming in.
Are you do you have anything planned already for Broadhead
Um, I
or
think
Janesville?
I think I don't know. I think Broadhead, yes, but I'm not sure what it is. And Janesville, I don't know. I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, that's really something.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
so. I love it with stuff like that where you get to go to kind of once a year and see people that you maybe only see that are local to that area. That's why I loved going to Michigan Paracon all those years. I love going, I think that they're going to change that up or not do it. Do I ever get a chance to just chill at home?
I
Uh,
wanted to. I was looking at the.
yeah, not very often, but uh, not very often. but but I make the most of my phone time. Like my luckily my husband runs these little play dates with our puppy and the neighbors in the backyard and take walks. But I try to make the most of the limited time I have here. I make limited. I don't. Chill's not a word that works for me really good.
I understand.
Yeah, chill and make it. I get cold and no. But I love everything I do. If I was sitting here like typing, I mean I am typing all day, but I mean if I was doing some job that wasn't inspiring to me or that I didn't love with all my passion, then I would make sure that I took extra time to do things that I loved and enjoyed and chilled. But I love and enjoy almost everything I do. So yeah, put me on a plane or put me on a Zoom call or whatever. Yeah.
Have you been up to the Seattle area?
Not very much. No, I haven't. I would that's a beautiful area. I have a friend who's a real Bigfoot kind of guy somewhere up there. I don't know if it's exact. And he's invited me on some kind of a camping thing. I couldn't do this last one because I was doing another show, but that's what I want to do. Haven't met a Bigfoot.
You haven't met one yet. I
No,
don't
but
know if
one
it's a
of
good
my
idea.
teachers, one of my mentors, um, Dr. De La, Maximilian de Lafayette, who wrote lots of like ET books. That's not my world either. I love it. I believe in it, but I'm just not an expert there. But he has all these languages. One of his languages, Anunnaki language, actually supposedly Bigfoot type cryptids do too. And the guy who invited me on this, they go on these little camping things. He's an expert in Max's work, my mentor's work. So that's the guy I want to go with.
You mentioned Anunnaki.
Yeah, yeah. My again, Maximilian de Lafayette. You could look him up. He has hundreds of books on stuff. And he did amazing. He started the American Federation of Certified Psychics and Mediums. He's in ill health, so we don't have anybody to run it now. But we started a nonprofit because he said if any field needed, regulation, it was ours. Yes, true. But Max speaks 21 languages. He's the one guy who he translated some like Iranian or Iraqi Bible into English, but most of his 21 languages are ancient, like ancient Sumerian, which ancient Sumerian is actually Anunnaki.
Yeah, I was going to say that when they have done all that recent uh, work out there in Samaria, the old Samaria, that they have gone down and they actually think there were actually three different times that we were civilized as a planet.
Really? Wow. It's fascinating to me. Again, not my area of expertise at all, but so fascinated by it. So I'd like to learn more.
Yeah, that's something that when I first started getting into that end of it, it was like, maybe I should just stick to what I do and stick with the spirit box work and Estes and leave everything else to everybody else. You know, there's no reason to try to go ahead and spread us thinly across the planet.
Yeah, that's true.
We have the opportunity to make a to make it to make a difference.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure that for everybody that's in the room here, they understand that when it comes to you because that's exactly what you've done.
Thank
And you carry a lot on your shoulders every year, especially when you have to deal with the boys, from where I'm going. And it was like, how do you do that with patience?
you.
And
Patient.
you close your ears off and just act like you don't even hear them, but you do.
Yeah. No, I have an on. I like the spirit. I have an on-off switch, and I think that carries over into the mundane world, the regular world. When I was a when I was a little kid, it's like I create, and I teach people create a bubble around yourself. The good stuff gets in, the bad stuff doesn't get in. This gets in, that doesn't get in. It bounces right off. But when I was a little kid, I didn't need spirits talking to me all the time, so I would put my thumbs. The reason I wear these gloves, these are like protection gloves, energetic for the palm place. But I would walk around with my thumb in my fingers. I don't have to do that anymore, but I will catch myself on occasion. That's off. This is on, and when off, I can go to the grocery store and not see somebody's dead mother. And when it's on, that makes it that much stronger. And when the bigger the divide is, the better both sides are, like in the craft. So yeah, I have an on-off switch for all sorts of things.
If you do run into somebody like that and they give you a name, do you try to contact the people that are still alive here, like in a grocery store or anything like that?
No, well, no, because in my ethical belief system, which is just mine, I don't like. I would not approach like if a spirit came to me and said, "Okay, I want to talk to my grandson, to Gray, Gray, I want to talk," and like, not my business. They didn't ask me. If the living person asked me, then I would. I don't want to change fate. I don't want to be the one to do it. I don't solicit. I don't at all. Now, if the spirit kept hitting me on the head and hitting me on the head and hitting me on, I talk to him, talk to him, talk to him. The most I would do is going, okay, you don't know me or you do know me. You may think I'm crazy. There is a spirit who wants to talk to you. Do you want to talk to them or not? That's as strong as I will be. And if they say no, I'll say thank you. And you could think I'm the crazy lady in the corner and I'll leave you alone.
That's amazing.
That's as close as I will do. Yeah.
But that's a very good answer.
Yeah. I'm not, yeah.
That's you can't be doing it all the time. I was just trying to see how far it would go.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
You have to break
yeah,
the chain.
you have to. And it's not for my sake, it's for, that's a huge responsibility. You could be in the grocery store and not want to talk to your dead uncle, your dead mother, or whatever. I could cause an emotional thing with you, and I'm not there to coach you and help you through it. And I don't want you to go home and get in a car accident because your mother told you should. That's a big responsibility. No, if you want to know, we will sit, we will talk. But if the spirit's just bothering me and the person isn't, no, this is our realm. This is our realm. They visit us.
This is a question that I saw, and you probably saw it though, and this pertains to the gentleman that you were talking about
Oh,
earlier.
Max. I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked up his stuff. I don't know if he knows any ancient Egypt language. It wouldn't surprise me if he did. I'm sure he maybe knows some, but I don't know. I will have to look into that. Good
Have you
question.
been? Have you been to the pyramids?
No, I have not. I would love to. I would love to. I will get
You,
there.
you, you know Mike Ricksacker, of course,
Yeah, love
from
him. Yeah.
and Mike, has done quite a few shows of filming that he does every year when he goes there. They have those Stargate symbols on the doorways. What's your take on that?
It's probably a Stargate. Again, not my area of expertise, but there's a reason that they're there. And there's, when you want, whether you read stuff or you watch those shows or all that, it all makes perfect sense. And now I think science is just, with all the quantum sciences and quantum science and spirituality of every form, not really spirit, are coming crashing together in such
Yes,
a beautiful way.
that's why when I said that, I was looking at it that way. But I wanted to see once again what you were thinking, because it's like there's way too much that has happened for it not to be. You
Yeah.
know, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. And just because we haven't figured out how to prove it yet or see it yet, people
I
thought
just
they
wish I had.
for a long
Go
time.
ahead.
No, no, I just say, until we figure something out, people don't know what it is.
What do you
That's it.
think about the space? What do you think about Elon Musk and the space program?
Well, he's not my favorite person. That's all I can say. Um,
I and this was just the spur of the. I
yeah.
just thought I'd throw
I
this
mean,
at
I
you.
think space is great. I'm intrigued by space. I don't know if I'm going to go get in a spaceship. Maybe. We're doing a paracon on Mars. I don't. A spiritual retreat, but but I don't know. I think you should stick to space or something. I don't know. I again, not an area I could talk to with any intelligence or big knowledge, but it's intriguing.
I just wanted to touch that because you know, that's where a lot of the energy comes from, is out there, and it comes to us that way.
Yeah,
And it's like, how do you know, I wanted to see what you thought.
yeah. That's it. It's intriguing, and that's all I know. but they're out there. I mean, if anybody thinks that we're the only people in this universe, that would be the silliest thought ever. Can you imagine this endless universe, endless, countless planets and solar systems and moons and suns and planets? And this one tiny little rock in the middle of it all is the only one that developed things? That's that to me seems ridiculous.
Fat chance.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, that's really it's great to be able to go ahead and just throw things at you
Oh, I love
like
it.
that. I
And
apologize if I came the wrong way on a few of
no, no,
those,
no,
but
you didn't. No, I, I
I'm
had an
just picking your brain.
go, so throw anything.
That's but Egypt was to me was going to be the big talk or the big part of the conversation because of all the effort that's been done to go ahead and keep it in the light that it is today compared to what people want it to appear like now. You know what I mean? It's always been that way, and now it seems to have it being a change. I mean, they're finding out so much more that underneath the big I think it's Cheops, that there's supposed to be a whole area underneath it,
Really.
and yeah, that's it just right. When you think about it, it's mind boggling.
It's all
You know,
mind-boggling. It's all mind-boggling. Isn't that great? I'd hate to not have a boggled mind.
you know, I don't think I'll ever have that.
No, I would to know everything would be so boring. To not have the mystery, to not have the unknown. We want to search for it. I don't want to sit here and not want to learn, but
There you go.
it's a big, beautiful world.
So, is there anything that you want to mention that we didn't cover?
Oh, not that I can think of. I mean, for
How about
people,
your classes again and that?
yeah, my classes. If anybody wants to learn at a crazy affordable class, and even if you can't come, again, I have almost 20 teachers now. I teach on Tuesday though. But if you can't come, I teach at 6 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 Eastern. But somebody from the UK, it's midnight or 2 a.m. You get a video the next day. So for your $10 to $20, you get to be live if you want to be, and you get a video. UniversityMagicus.com or magicu.org, and magic has the K. That shows it's not like rabbit out of a hat magic. Or go to pattynegri.com, and then you can get to Paraflix, and you can get to the university, and you can get to my now pre-order book. You can get to my, I'm not sure you can get my old world magic book, the one that's been out for a few years now and still
Yes,
doing very well. And I have a new book, only one chapter though, but we just launched this in New York, Women Gone Wild, a book on intuition. Like 20 women, like kind of different leaders from all over the world, each our own thoughts on intuition. We got bestseller right away on this one. We just launched it in New York. I'm one chapter, but all the chapters are really good. And then my new one, Dollcraft, you can pre-order it on Amazon, but that's on my website too. And then, of course, the Witches Movie Coven. And then everywhere I'm going to be appearing. Like I said, Texas next week, Jackson, California the next week, um, Hanover Tavern Paracon in early Jan- January. No, that's in late January. I'm going to the UK. I'm going to do a seance in early January, January 12th or 13th at Victor Wynn's Last Tuesday Society. He's got a haunted museum of curiosities in London. So that's in January. So just go to pattynegri.com, sign up for my newsletter, or all my stuff gets listed there because I can't keep up with it.
do you know who Paul Adams is out there in England?
In where?
In England, he's in London area.
I don't think
Paul
so.
Adams.
I just met a bunch of people there. We went to this other cool haunted museum. Some people, I don't. That's not ringing a bell. That doesn't mean I didn't meet him.
Okay. Okay. I want to say thank you to you for an amazing show once again. I'm a
Thank
little stymied tonight, the way
You're
my
so
head is.
cute. Oh, yeah.
But the everybody in the chat, thank you very much. If you have any last minute questions, you got
Throw
about 3 minutes to go ahead and put them down here. Okay, here.
Please, so someone open. I say, should I? Oh, the gloves. Yes. The you see people starting to wear stuff. These are cheap Amazon. They're supposed to be keep sun off you gloves, because you don't want to get sand on your hands, I guess. But I also, you could wear full gloves too, but then you can't move your fingers. This blocks the part of the palm where if you work with your hands a lot, because if you see me on Paranormal Investigations, I'm doing all sorts of stuff. This just softens it. Um, and I've got them in knit and this, but it's so funny. The little Amazon ones, you get 3 pairs for like $10 or something, and different colors, and it really helps. It really helps for the empaths. All you empaths out there, and probably most of you are, really helps.
Okay, thank you everybody in the chat. Do you see my question? Becky says. Oh, okay, here it is.
Do you ever keep recurring dreams that I am not anymore. I used to be a big dreamer, and it wasn't so much like premonition dreams and then it happens, because I just get that during the waking time. But those are beautiful premonition dreams, recurring dreams, and then it happens. And if it's a good thing, that's great. And if it's not a good thing, don't make yourself guilty or feel that you caused it or feel responsible. I'm just not, maybe because my sleep hours are less than they maybe should be oftentimes. So I'm a really deep sleeper, and my dream world life is not real big right now. I've gone in spurts when it is. I teach people in my book, my dream school, put a glass of water by the side of your bed and then work on what you want. Because water, as we know, is magic, and science is priming all that. So a little glass of water open. Don't drink water by your bed unless it's really sealed up. But have an open glass of water and say, I want to talk to my spirit guides, or I want to, what is the meaning of life, or whatever, or just, but and you will get it in your dream time. In my book, I explain like 10 minutes before you get up, do this or do that, but you don't have to. But if you have trouble sleeping, have an insomnia glass of water, charge the water. You have to put your intent what that water does. The sleep water helps you sleep. If you have chronic pain or pain water, all your pain instead goes into that glass of water. They work, and then you toss the water in the morning.
You have to toss it in the morning.
Yeah. It's just
you don't want you don't want little frogs to grow in it or anything.
You don't want any little frogs to grow on it. No, or you can water a plant, because I always call it fertilized water, because all your crap has gone into it. That's why you don't drink water by your bed unless it's like in a bottle sealed or a really sealed thing, and then put your dream or pain or insomnia or nightmare water in front of that.
That's awesome. Well, once again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say goodnight to these crazy people. And I want to say to you, thanks again for a lovely show. It's really amazing. And I'm looking forward to going ahead and having you back on if you're willing to put up with my antics.
Of course. Always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure. I would love to.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you going to be able to hang on for a few minutes when I close them off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, guys. We'll see you guys later. Outro. No, that
was fun.
It's still live.
Oh, it is? Hi, everybody. Here, I'll give you my word.